Feel like all I've ever known is survival mode. Fight or flight, fighting for and running towards the light of my soul. Focus my eyes through the spiritual glasses prescribed. My vision was magnified and I saw that fire could grow. All while being tamed. Saw it firsthand while I was deep in the cave. Deeply engaged in the present without checking for time. Deeply engaged in the presence of God. I felt my higher self come to life, and suddenly it was light for the first time. Silence was pleasantly loud. My thoughts were a gain of color, far apart from the anguish and suffer, keeping them in bondage, which in return held me captive. The reflection of my higher self told me that I had to go through those lows in order for his conception to be. He looked back at who I've been and saw a reflection of peace in the stories told by the scars. With hands that resemble his heart, I saw the DNA of Christ. He read my scars out loud with a voice that wasn't victimized. He mentioned how they were depictions of a rise, such as the ones broken, standing over the rubble. They could have been self-destruction, but it turned out to be self-discovery. The triumphant towering over the troubles that told him it wasn't a way out. Yet favor was in his fortune, and there was tons of grace found unscathed in the midst of the debris as well. So just know that each time you fell and rose, you never fell below the hands of the most graceful. Even when you weren't so faithful, undeserving, but undeserted. Even in survival mode, you weren't surviving on your own. A merciful child will be thrown into the sky quick. If you could see the anointing that's covered you, you wouldn't be so sure that you know what a fight is. But you could learn when you learn to fight with rather than fight against. When you called to do what you are called to do, would you become a flight risk? Or stay grounded in obedience to become solidified in the soil and grow through gardens that at times may appear to be a grave? When told it's the season of solitude, would you be willing to go deep into the cave, allowing all of the outside noise, all of the toxic ways to be inflamed, rather than the wildfire enraged woman grow inside of you that is tamed, fervently burning as you become more and more engaged? Will you let it rain in hopes of not having to make such a covenant? Not realizing the bed you make, no matter how comforting to the eyes of God and the God inside, it doesn't have any covering. So would you allow yourself to flee from this cave, trying to convince yourself that you've escaped, or would you choose to emerge, giving hope to those that have been hurt, giving life to those that are lost, believing they are in the grave rather than the garden? Will you be that light in the darkness rather than false lit and confused? Would you choose to be led so that you could lead? Do you know what you could be if you just believed? How many would finally breathe if you came up for the only air that was worth it? How many would find their pulse again once you found your purpose? How many would believe in their growth again if you just rose? How many would believe they have a choice if you just chose to emerge where there was no escape? Without going deep into their cave, being deeply engaged in the present without checking for time, because you were so deeply engaged in the presence of God.